Pokemon Black and White are known to be some of the hardest Pokemon games out there, and because I don't value my free time whatsoever, I decided I wanted to attempt to beat this game with only shiny Pokemon. But as if that's not tedious enough, I'm going to be adding on hardcore Nuzlocke rules just to make this run that much more difficult. With that all being said, the chances of finding a shiny in this game are 1 in every 8,192 encounters, so those are the odds I worked with when looking for my shiny starter. Eventually, after a grueling 3 days straight of shiny hunting, I finally found my starter, Tepe.
Oh, I got it, I got it. Oh my god, I got it. Oh, I got it, let's go. Oh, let's go. Finally, bro. Oh, bro, let's go. Damn, bro, it took me like 3 days. Let's go. Let's go.
Tepe's nature is just neutral, so it doesn't really mean much, and after I go meet up with Professor Junifer, I name him Alpha. Once I do that, I head on to the first route, and here Bianca makes me well aware that I don't have a lot of Pokemon right now. And because there's no way I let Bianca have more Pokemon than me, I start up another shiny hunt right away. This hunt wasn't nearly as bad as the last one, but it still did take a pretty long time, as after about 7 hours, I find myself a shiny Lillipup. After I catch her, I name her Bravo, and find out she's got a careful nature, which isn't that bad. Now, I go challenge my rivals to a battle, and since my team is just better, I easily defeat them and make my way towards the first gym. Because I chose Tepic, the gym leader here is Cress, and he leads the battle with Lillipup as I lead with Bravo. I start off by going for a tackle, hoping to do half, but sadly I don't end up doing that as Lillipup sets up with a workup. Because I really don't want to get hit by a tackle here, I decide to go for a bite, hoping for a flinch, and I actually got it. This causes Cress to use a potion, so I go for a tackle with Bravo, getting a crit and finishing off Lillipup. Once I make it to level 15, I learn the move Takedown, and after that, Cress sends out Panpour. On the first turn against this thing, I go for a takedown and actually miss as Panpour sets up with workup. On the next turn, I go for a second takedown, doing some pretty big damage in the process as Panpour sets up a second workup. I don't really know why he didn't attack me, but either way, it works for me as I go for a bite, finishing off Panpour and winning me my first gym badge. At this point in the game, there's just a lot of stories, so I'm not going to bore you with the details, but just know I beat Team Plasma a ton. As I'm beating up Team Plasma though, I look at my current team and I realize there's no way I beat the next gym without losing a Pokemon. So after I beat Team Plasma in Wellspring Cave, I decided to start my next shiny hunt. This time I was hunting for Roggenrola, and after only about 3 hours, I ended up finding one. This is probably the quickest shiny I've ever found, so you best believe I was happy, and I ended up naming him Charlie, and I found out he had an adamant nature, which is probably the best he could have had. With Roggenrola by my side, I evolve Tepic into Pignite and move on towards the next city. While I'm here, I fight N, who's an absolute pushover, and after that, I challenge Lenora for my second gym badge. She leads the battle with Herdier as I lead with Alpha. Herdier starts off by lowering my attack with Intimidate as I go for an arm thrust, only hitting 2 times as I get hit with a Leer. Luckily, on the next turn, I go for another arm thrust, and this time I hit 3 times, finishing off the Herdier. Now Lenora sends in Watchog, and because this thing is absolutely horrifying, I decide to switch out immediately into Roggenrola. Weirdly enough, Watchog decides not to go for a Retaliate, going for a Hypnosis and missing on the switch in. On the next turn, she goes for a second Hypnosis, and it misses a second time in a row as I go for a Rock Blast, doing about half. Finally, with a third Hypnosis, she puts Charlie to sleep, but at this point, it's way too late for that as I just switch into Pignite and go for an arm thrust. This finishes off Watchog and wins me my second gym badge. After the gym, I witnessed Team Plasma steal the skull of this Dragonite skeleton, and in hindsight, why did they do this? This literally gives them nothing. Regardless of all that though, this head is pretty easy to get back, and after I chase them down through Pinwheel Forest, I make my way to Chandelier City. Once I get here, I've really only got to do one thing, and that's deal with the rest of Team Plasma. As usual, this really isn't much of a tall task, and after I do it, I'm ready to challenge the third gym. Berg leads the battle with Whirlipede as I lead with Alpha. I start out with a Flame Charge, doing about 2/3 as Whirlipede hits me with a Poison Tail, only doing 13. Another Flame Charge is able to take Whirlipede out as next out comes Dwebble. Against Dwebble, I start out by going for an Arm Thrust, doing about 1/3 as Dwebble hits me with a Smackdown. I then go for a Flame Charge, doing about another third as Dwebble hits me with another Smackdown, really not doing that much damage. On the next turn, I finish off Dwebble with another Flame Charge, and that leads into Berg's final Pokemon, Leavanny. At this point, my speed's up a million, so I just go for a Flame Charge, one-shotting Leavanny in the process and winning me my third badge. After the gym, I've got to fight my rivals, and like I said before, I'm just better, so after I defeat them, I decide to start up another shiny hunt. This hunt takes place on Route 4 because there are so many good Pokemon in this area. Sadly, little did I know this shiny hunt would take absolutely forever. It took me 2.5 days to find this shiny Sandile.
Oh, I got it! Oh my god! I wasn't even looking! Oh, let's go! Oh my god, I got it! Oh my god! Oh, I got it! Let's go, baby! Oh my... Yes, dude! Finally! That one took forever! forever, bro. Oh my gosh. I gotta just throw Pokeballs. Let's go. Finally, I got this thing, man. Oh my god, it took forever.
I was looking for a Scraggy here, but it's whatever. I finally got my shiny. I ended up naming him Delta and finding out he's got a jolly nature, which is probably the best he could have had. With that being said, I'm now free to head into Nimbasa City. Once I'm here, I make my Pignite look as pretty as possible, evolve Charlie into Boldore, and go on this really oddly romantic Ferris wheel ride with N. He then challenges me to a battle, and honestly, I thought we had something. Regardless of that though, I end up smashing him, and after that battle, I move on to fight Elisa. Elisa leads the battle with Emolga as I lead with Boldore. Elisa goes for a Volt Switch, switching out into another Emolga, and that Emolga gets absolutely bodied by a Smackdown. Elisa then sends out Emolga again, and she decides to go for another Volt Switch, bringing me down to 14 HP as Zebstrika comes out. I knew Zebstrika would come out, so I went for a Rock Blast instead of Smackdown, and it worked really well, as I got a lucky critical hit and finished off Zebstrika. This really helps me out, as it means Elisa's onto her final Pokemon, Emolga. For this, I switch into Herdier, who tanks a Volt Switch on the switch in and on the next turn. After that, I just go for a Crunch, finishing off Emolga and winning me my 4th badge. Once I finish that gym, I'm off towards Driftmill City. As I'm going to the city, Charon decides he wants to fight me, and while that battle's playing in the background, I want to let everybody know that only 13.7% of my viewers are actually subscribed, so if you could please subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. By the end of 2022, my goal is to hit 100k subs, and every subscriber counts in that, so if you could please help me get my goal, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody for the recent support, it's really been amazing, and with that being said, I finally beat Charon, and I'm down for another shiny hunt. This hunt wasn't nearly as bad as the last, and I ended up finding a Solosis in only about 3 hours. After catching him, I named him Echo, and found out he's got a serious nature, which is just neutral. I then finally make my way into Driftmill City, and this place has the best music in all of Pokemon. Go debate a wall if you think otherwise. Regardless of that though, I gotta go to the cold storage and deal with Team Plasma. As usual, not too difficult, and while I'm fighting them, I end up evolving Delta into Krokorok. With Team Plasma defeated, I go to fight Clay for my 5th gym badge. Clay leads the battle with Krokorok as I lead with Herdier. Right away, I go for a takedown, doing a ton of damage to Krokorok, but sadly not killing as I get hit with a Swagger. On the next turn, Clay heals as I go for a Crunch, doing about half. This was the main goal though, as now I switch into Delta, who tanks some damage on the switch in, and I then go for a Dig, finishing off Krokorok. Because I have the ability Moxie, my attack raises by 1 stage here, and when Palpitoad comes out, I'm able to go for a single Dig, one-shotting in the process. With my attack up 2, Clay's onto his final Pokemon, Excadrill. Excadrill goes for a Hone Claws as I go for a Dig, and with my attack up 2, this thing stands no chance, and I'm able to one-shot pretty easily as that wins me my 5th badge. Immediately after the gym, I meet up with Clay at Chargestone Cave, and I head through that place pretty quickly. While I was going through there, I evolved Bravo into Stoutland and Echo into Duosion. I then get in a battle with N, and since every Pokemon in Chargestone Cave is pretty much weak to ground, I just start spamming Dig. This absolutely elite strategy allows me to win my fight against N and make my way into Mistralton City. Once I'm here, there's really not much to do. I've just got to find Skyla atop this massive tower, and after I ring the bell, I get ready to fight her in a battle. Before the battle starts, I just want to quickly say, like, what is her gym trial or whatever it is? It, like, she shoots you out of cannons? I got slammed into a steel wall. Regardless of that though, she leads the battle with Swoobat as I lead with Charlie. Swoobat immediately goes for a Heart Stamp, not doing much damage whatsoever as I go for a Rock Blast, one-shotting. Skyla then brings out her ace Pokemon Swanna, and for this, I decide to switch into Bravo. Bravo takes minimal damage on the switch in, and on the next turn I go for a 4-time super effective Thunderfang. This obviously kills and leads into Skyla's final Pokemon, Unpheasant. I hit Unpheasant with a Thunderfang, and I then go for a takedown, finishing her off and winning myself badge number 6. With the gym completed, I get to go fight Charon, and this fight goes pretty easily as usual, but after the fight, I get the HM for Surf. With this HM, I'm able to go to Mistralton Cave, and in the cave, I'm able to find myself Axew. I was shiny hunting in this cave for about an hour and a half before I realized that I don't actually want to be here. Axew's only got like a 30% encounter rate here, and if I didn't get an Axew, I would just get a Swoobat or a Boldore, which I already have. After a lot of careful consideration, I decided to move elsewhere to shiny hunt, this time into Chargestone Cave. I'm actually really happy that I did this because after about 6 hours, I found myself a shiny Clink. After catching him, I gave him the nickname Foxtrot, and I then make my way towards Icarus City. Once I'm in the city, I talk to this guy with really weird eyebrows, and I then evolve a ton of Pokemon. I evolve Clink into Clang and Pignite into Embor. I also evolved Boldore into Gigalith, and the only reason I'm allowing this is because the shiny is just so cool. And also, a while ago, I asked my viewers if it was okay to do trade evolutions like this, and they said it was, so I'm gonna go with their opinion. With all that out of the way though, I go to challenge the 7th gym. Bryson leads the battle with Vanillish as I lead with Emboar. Right away, I go for a Flame Charge, one-shotting Vanillish as next out comes Beartick. Beartick gets hit for about half with a Heat Crash, and he ends up hitting me with a Swagger. Because I don't really feel like hitting myself with the Confusion, I decide to switch out into Foxtrot. He gets hit for minimal damage on the switch in, and on the next turn I go for a Gear Grind, finishing off Beartick. Now Bryson's onto his final Pokemon Cryogonal, and for this I just go for a single Gear Grind, one-shotting in the process and winning me my battle against Bryson. With badge 7 acquired, we've got some more Team Plasma story. Is something going wild at the top of the tower? It sounds like something's going on a rampage at the top of the tower. Turns out it's just N and his Reshiram, and after he goes flying away, I've got to go to the Desert Resort. This place is so annoying to get through, but eventually I make my way all the way to the bottom and meet up with Getsus. This guy's just talking his talk, and it's really annoying, so I end up just tuning out most of it. I just got, giant black dragon, Elite Four type things. Yeah, it's whatever. I'm sure nothing's gonna happen. After this, I just go to Opelucid City. As I'm going there, 2 of my Pokemon evolve, Duosion and Krugerok, and once I'm finally in Opelucid City, I'm ready to challenge the final gym. Iris leads the battle with Fracture as I lead with Bravo. Right away, I go for an Ice Fang, doing about 2/3 as Iris sets up with Dragon Dance. Thankfully, even with the Dragon Dance, I still outspeed and I'm able to go for a Crunch, finishing off Fracture. This leads in Iris's next Pokemon, Druddigon, and for this, I immediately go for Ice Fang. It does almost half as I luckily flinch, and on the next turn I do the same thing, going for an Ice Fang, but this time I don't flinch as I get hit by Night Slash. Iris then heals with a Hyper Potion as I go for 2 more Ice Fangs, finishing off Druddigon and leading Iris to use her final Pokemon, Haxorus. This thing could be insanely scary, but thankfully I end up hitting an Ice Fang, doing almost half as I get hit with a Dragon Tail, switching me out into Echo. Thankfully there's no way Haxorus one-shots Echo here, so I'm easily able to go for a Psychic, finishing off Haxorus and winning myself my final gym badge of this run. With the gyms completed, I move on towards Victory Road, and while I'm going there, I've got to fight Sharon for the final time. This fight actually ends up being really difficult. I mean, Sharon brings all of my Pokemon down pretty weak before I finish him off. With that all being said though, I beat him without losing a Pokemon, so I've got every single Pokemon on my team remaining when going into the Pokemon League. At this point, I get all of my Pokemon up to the level cap, evolve Clang into Klinklang, and start my Elite Four journey with Caitlyn. Caitlyn leads the battle with Rheoniclus as I lead with Echo. Right away, I go for a Shadow Ball, doing over half as I get hit with a Thunder that doesn't do too much damage. Because I'm assuming Caitlyn's gonna go for a Thunder again, I decide to switch out into Delta, who doesn't take any damage from it. I'm then pretty easily able to finish off Rheoniclus with a Foul Play, and that leads into Caitlyn's next Pokemon, Sigilyph. With my attack up 1, Sigilyph goes down to a single Crunch, and that means Musharna's out next. Musharna can't survive a +2 Crunch, and neither can Gothitelle, as when she comes in, she goes down to a one-shot, and that wins me my first Elite Four battle. Next up, I go to challenge Marshall, and he leads the battle with Throw as I lead with Echo. Throw starts off by going for a Stone Edge that misses, and since I have a Psychic Gem on Echo, I'm able to one-shot with a single Psychic. Next out is Menxiao, who goes for Retaliate, doing about half as I go for a Psychic, one-shotting. This means Marshall's onto his 3rd Pokemon, Sawk, and because I figure Sawk is going to go for a Stone Edge, I decide to go for Recover, and thankfully I'm right, as Stone Edge doesn't do too much damage and I heal up pretty much all of my health. On the next turn, Stone Edge misses as I heal up even more HP, and at this point I'm at full, so I decide to go for a Psychic. This brings Sawk all the way down to 1 HP as he heals in the next turn with a full restore, and I go for another Psychic, bringing him down to 1 HP again. Now Sawk's basically finished, and after I go for one more Recover, I decide to go for a Psychic and Shadow Ball combo, finishing off Sawk and leading into Marshall's final Pokemon, Conkeldurr. With 153 HP, there is no way I get one-shotted here, so I just go for a Psychic, finishing off Marshall and winning myself my second Elite Four battle. At this point, I've got to make a decision on who I want to challenge next, and it's either going to be Grimsley or Chantal, and since Chantal looks a little bit easier, I decide to go challenge her next. She leads the battle with Cofagrigus as I lead with Foxtrot. Right away, I go for a Gear Grind that does almost half as I get hit with a Shadow Ball. It doesn't do an insane amount of damage, but it does lower my special defense, so that's going to be scary. On the next turn, I go for a Mirror Shot that doesn't do a lot of damage at all as she goes for a Will-O-Wisp that misses. After that, I go for a Gear Grind and miss as I get hit with a Will-O-Wisp. I then go for a Mirror Shot and miss again as I get hit with a Shadow Ball, bringing me pretty low. I now decide to go for for a Volt Switch and switch out into Delta, who tanks a Shadow Ball, and on the next turn I go for a single Crunch, one-shotting Cofagrigus with a critical hit. Sadly, Cofagrigus has Mummy, and because of this, I lose my Moxie ability when going into Jellicent. Thankfully, this doesn't actually matter, as I just go for a Crunch, one-shotting Jellicent, and leading me into Chantal's next Pokemon, Golurk. I go for a Foul Play on Golurk, and it ends up one-shotting, completely unexpected on my end, but I'll definitely take it, as it means Chantal's on to her final Pokemon, Chandelier. For this, I go for a Foul Play, and it does a ton of damage, bringing Chandelier all the way down to about a 5th, but I end up getting hit by Flame Body and by Fire Blast, which brings me all the way down to 7 HP. Chantal then heals Chandelier as I switch into Bravo, and at this point, the battle's basically won, as I go for 2 more crunches, finishing off Chandelier and winning myself my 3rd Elite Four battle. Finally is Grimsley, and he leads the battle with Scrafty as I lead with Alpha. First things first, I go for a Hammer Arm, and I end up getting a one-shot. With that, next out comes Crocodile, and sadly, I don't really know what to do here. I mean, I decided to go for a Hammer Arm, but I'm slower, so Crocodile ends up hitting me with a massive Earthquake, one-shotting in the process, and that's the end of Alpha. It's fine though, because with his death, it allows me to get a free switch into another Pokemon, and I decide to move into Bravo. Crocodile starts off by going for an Earthquake. That does a good amount of damage as I go for Ice Fang doing half. Crocodile then goes for another Earthquake, bringing me all the way down to 13 HP as I go for a second Ice Fang, finishing off Crocodile. Grimsley then decides to throw out his next Pokemon, Bisharp, and with Bisharp out, I decide to switch into Delta. Delta tanks a Metal Claw on the switch in, and on the next turn I go for a Dig, doing a ton of damage to Bisharp, but sadly not killing, as I get hit with an X-Scissor, bringing me all the way down to 17 HP. At this point, Grimsley's 100% going to heal, so I decide to go for a Crunch just to do a little bit of damage before going for another Dig. Thankfully, Crunch did just enough damage so that a Dig kills, and with Bisharp down, Grimsley sends out his final Pokemon, Liepard. Liepard really isn't that great of a Pokemon, so I just decide to switch into Gigalith and go for a single Stone Edge, finishing off Liepard and winning myself my final Elite Four battle. Now, as I'm going to fight the champion, Team Plasma blows the absolute top off the champion's palace, and I've then got to go fight N and Getsis. Here we go, man. Let's do this. So, like I said, I gotta hit this Stone Edge. Go for it. This Fusion Flare is gonna do like, yeah, not that much. I hit the Stone Edge kill. Let's go. Perfect. First Pokemon down. Nice. You love to see it. Kling Clang. That means it's Zoroark. Zoroark is definitely Kling Clang right here. We'll see in a second if this thing goes for Focus Blast, but either way, I'm going for a Stone Edge. I have to. Hey, please don't kill. Don't kill. Don't kill. Shift Gear. I avoided the Focus Blast right there. That'd be great if I could avoid a second one. Do I go for a Discharge or Volt Switch? I want to Volt Switch out, but I don't think Volt Switch will kill, so I'll go for another Gear Grind. Yes! Yes! Yes, man! You love to see it. You love to see it. That's exactly what we needed. I'll just spam Discharge. Metal Sound. Oh, yikes. If I get hit with a Thunderbolt, it's going to do a good amount of damage. I'm just going to switch out with Volt Switch. I'm scared. I'm scared, and I'll admit it. I'm scared. I'll tank it. Light Screen. I'm going to set up a Light Screen. This Flash Cannon's going to do a decent bit. It didn't actually do that much. Now that the Light Screen's set up, as long as I don't get crit, I can recover and go for a Psychic and eventually take this thing out. Another Psychic kills. Perfect. Amazing. I'm at 167. 194. I'll go for another Psychic. I've got to do it. Oh, I did such a good amount of damage. If I can avoid a Stone Edge, then there's a point in going for Recover. And Stone Edge only has 80 accuracy. If I go for Recover and Stone Edge misses, I can go for a Psychic on the next turn and kill. That's absolutely what I have to do. I'm going for it. A Crunch. Oh, I'm so stupid, man. I have the moveset pulled up right in front of me and I didn't see that. Oh my gosh. That's so dumb on my end. I have the moveset in front of me too. Like, directly in front of me. And I missed that. It's whatever though. I take that thing out with the Discharge. It's fine. Now Vanillix is in. Vanillix goes down to a Gear Grind. As long as I hit it, I'm good. Amazing. Hit it. Perfectly fine. Nice. No low damage roll. We're good. Shift Gear. This is the move we need to beat Getsis. Archeops is scary. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Archeops is scary. As long as I hit this Discharge, I'm fine. That's good. And I get the paralysis off. Archeops is down. Yes, man. Yes. What Pokemon do we have remaining? We only lost one Pokemon in that fight, didn't we? Oh no, we lost two. We lost Charlie and Echo is what we lost. That means we have 3 Pokemon remaining. Delta, Bravo, and Foxtrot. there's no opportunity to like change around my team here. So we just gotta deal with Getsus. And just to, you know, work around the fact that Getsus, you know, Charlie's actually dead, I'm just gonna throw Pokeballs at Cavarigas just so it's not cheating. But yeah, my plan is to go into Klinklang and just kill with that. That's like my only plan. That's what I have to do. The Cavarigas is really bad. Like, Cavarigas isn't good. It has Toxic, Shadow Ball, Psychic. All of those are not very effective against Foxtrot. And I can't even get hit by Toxic. So I've got to set up with Shift Gear and just hope. That's really what I got to do. Just hope. I'm going to set up 4 actually, now that he went for that. With my attack up 4, I should be able to just one-shot everything. But I've got to make sure I hit. I've got to hit my attacks. So I should have just gone for another one. It's fine though. Okay. There's my first hit. Down. Hydreigon's out. This is one of the Pokemon we have to for sure hit. We're definitely faster. We need to hit this Gear Grind. We hit it. Let's go. It's going to kill. Amazing, man. Just got to go for a Gear Grind. Yes, we hit again, man. It's got 90 accuracy, y'all. It's got 90 accuracy. If we miss anything, we just lose. We just lose. It's as simple as that. We got to hit again. Come on. Yes, bro. Oh, it's not very effective, though. It's fine. He went for a Rain Dance. He went for a Rain Dance. He threw. I wasn't even looking. I saw his health go down to half. And I was like, oh, so we just killed. I didn't even realize it was going to be not very effective. Well, I mean, now I just got to hit an extra Gear Grind, which is a little scary, but we still hit it, though. We still hit it, though. Electros. Bro, that didn't kill, sadly, but it doesn't look like it matters because I outspeed. I just got to hit. That's all I got to do is just hit the Gear Grind. That's all I have to do in the rest of this fight. This commentary is going to be so awful because I just have to say I keep hitting it because that's literally all I can do. I can just spam Gear Grind. That's it. And I'm getting super lucky right now. Like 90% accuracy that's bad. That is not good. I have a feeling I'm going to go down here, but I'll just go for a Discharge. Metal Burst. Oh, I didn't even know that was an attacking move. Oh, that's Metal Sound. That's not the attacking move. And Delta gets sent in, and honestly, I think it did kills. I have Soft Sand on Delta, so... Yes, man! Oh my gosh, bro! Easy fight, Getsus. Easy fight. One of the hardest games you can Nuzlocke. This is one of the hardest games you can Nuzlocke. And I beat it with Shiny Pokémon, man. That is just incredible, bro. Bro, I don't even know what to think because like that's crazy, man. Like this entire thing is just this whole game was just nuts. This run was amazing. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. This is just I thoroughly enjoyed myself in this playthrough. I really did. And that's Pokemon White. Gosh, bro. My thoughts about the run. I mean, it took forever. If I can show you guys the save time, I will. But it took a while. All in all, I mean, probably top 5 like most favorite runs I've ever done. It was just amazing. Like all throughout. And yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say. If you enjoyed the run, if you enjoyed my shiny hunting suffering, please consider subscribing. It really does help me out. And with that being said, that was my attempt at a Pokemon White hardcore Nuzlocke using only shiny Pokemon.